Hey guys, this is Kim Brink Jansen here. I'm being guided to start a new series with you guys via video. It is also going to be followed up with books and other processes as well. However, for now, what we're going to be doing is I'm just going to be sharing this new process or these new processes via video on this YouTube channel. With the workshops that I do around these processes, they're simply just sharing the tools that I have been given, whether you call it God, the universe, however, whoever you follow. I kind of use the universe, but literally either daily, weekly, I'm getting constantly new tools for us to be able to use. With kids, I call them superpowers. I think as adults, we can use them as superpowers as well. But these are really cool tools that we can all use to get through this human experience on this planet. So this first one that I want to share with you, I call the 24-hour risk test. So the 24-hour risk test goes something like this. Say, for example, you're having an issue, which we all do. You've got an issue with money, relationships, work, career, children, whatever. What I want you to do with this 24-hour risk test is I'm going to get you to literally look at what you've done to date around the situation and knowing that everything you've done right up till right now probably isn't working. So we need to firstly acknowledge in the 24-hour risk test that the thing that we've been doing around this thing just hasn't worked in the past. So we now need to then acknowledge that we need to do something different. Now, sometimes when we're bringing in a different way of thinking, a different process or whatever, it's actually quite risky to say from now on, I'm going to just do this. And sometimes it seems really hard to try and wrap our brains around the fact that from now on, we're going to do something different. And sometimes we don't even want to take that risk. So this is why it's a 24-hour risk test, because literally what I'm going to get you to do is you're literally going to break everything down into 24-hour time slots. And literally what you're going to do is say, from right now for the next 24 hours, I'm going to just do something different around this thing. So say, for example, the biggest one this works for is money. So say, for example, at the moment, you have big issues with money, you worry about money, and money is not coming to you. I want you to now acknowledge that all the time right up to this time, the worrying, the stressing, the budgeting, everything else, it just didn't work. It hasn't worked. So for the next 24 hours, you're literally going to do something different. So 24-hour risk test, it's not going to kill you. Your whole situation isn't going to change if you let go some of these behaviors that you have been carrying your whole life. So you're going to look at this completely different. So say, for example, right up till now, you've worried about money and money hasn't come. For the next 24 hours, I'm going to get you to just not worry about money for 24 hours. It's not going to kill you, but don't worry about money for 24 hours. I don't want you to even think about money. And then I want you just to get into just doing things that you really love and making sure in these next 24 hours that is all you do. Now, you might go, well, that's not going to bring me money. Well, how do you know until you try? I personally know that it does. So I know when I focus on money and I worry about money and everything else, money doesn't come. So I did this 24-hour risk test and said, you know what? That way of thinking before just hasn't helped me. So from now on, well, for this next 24 hours, I'm just going to test it. It's just a risk test. It's just to say, I'm only going to do it for 24 hours and see what happens. So for 24 hours, I didn't even think about money. I didn't worry about money. I didn't do anything about it. Not that I didn't do anything about it, but I just didn't have the anxiety around the money. And then literally I found that I was actually getting not only some money coming through, but ideas and things that I could do to bring in more money. But I wasn't focused on making more money. I was actually focused on just having the fun. So when I followed the fun things, the money was the result. I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say here. is that just try something different for 24 hours. So say, for example, in a marriage, it's not working, you might just say, okay, for the next 24 hours, I'm just going to do something different to what I have been doing just to see what does work. And then you look in that next 24 hours and say, okay, did it kind of work? Did it not kind of work? What did work? What didn't work? And then you just adopt what did work for that following 24 hours. And you just break everything down into 24-hour lots. With children, with anything you can try this with. I want you simply to do something different in that next 24 hours and completely change your whole mindset, your whole thought processes. I want you to change how you feel about whatever it is that you're going on with, and see if that makes a difference in reality. It's a 24-hour risk test. Nothing is actually going to change in that 24 hours unless you change in that 24 hours. What also happens is that your mind is then not going too far in the future. It's actually keeping you quite in the present, which is where our power is. So this is where the 24-hour risk test ticks all the boxes around working with the universe, because it'll definitely keep you in the moment. It'll keep you focused on how you're feeling, how you're behaving, how you're treating other people, all that sort of thing. And you're doing the opposite to what doesn't work. To be honest, the opposite of what doesn't work has to work. But we put no expectations on the outcome. So that's a really important part of the 24-hour risk test, is that you literally don't say, well, this is what I want the outcome to be like, because you're stopping the universe from bringing all possibilities as to what can help you. So I want you to try the 24-hour risk test. It's a really cool tool. And I just want you to look at something that's going on in your life right now and go, you know what, that's actually not working for me. I'm just going to try something different for the next 24 hours. And you could completely have a completely different mindset, completely different feeling about it or whatever. You could be guided and just allow the universe or God or whoever just to give you what you need to do. Or you can just, I don't know, just pretty much go with what feels good. And definitely what feels good will definitely bring more good to you, because the universe just aligns more energy with energy. So I always say, yeah, in that 24 hours, do what feels good for you. And yes, things could change. I always say don't have an expectation of it changing, but just stay in that 24-hour awareness and don't think about too far into the future, and just feel into what does work for you in that 24 hours. Be totally aware of what's going on, and start to feel into what's really, really feeling good in that 24 hours. And don't really do anything that doesn't feel good in that 24 hours. Nothing bad's going to happen in 24 hours, so you can risk it. Okay, so take the 24-hour risk test today. If you've got any questions, pop them below. If you want to do some more work with me around this and many other tools, you can jump onto my website, which is KimIbrinkJansen.com. And I'll see you again for another superpower lesson. Bye.